please everyone feel very welcome to today. And we're going to start with one of my very most preferred part of the conference, which is the demos. We're going to have live demonstrations. And this year, we're having 3 people run live demonstrations to you. And the very first person is going to be Kuljit. And Monica, would you like to tell us a little bit about
of course. You would
Kuljit
like to
Kaur?
introduce Kuljit Kaur Sehmi. She's an award-winning specialist practitioner in fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. She's a logosynthesis practitioner and the joint author of the Your Way to Health journal. In her 40s, she was diagnosed with severe fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, arthritis, neuromas, excuse me, difficult words. She was struggling with constant chronic pain and was no longer able to walk. Medical scientists told her there was no cure. At that point, she set out on a journey to resolve the root causes of her symptoms. Kuljit completely recovered without medication and climbed her first mountain just 18 months later. That's really incredible. And look at her smile. Fascinated by the healing ability of the body, Kuljit gave up her career as an optometrist and is now a specialist in long-term relief of chronic pain and trauma. Now she guides others on their journey back to health and happiness. We are really looking forward to do the work with you, that introduction part for logosynthesis. Welcome, Kuljit.
Welcome, Kuljit.
Thank you so much. It's lovely. It's a real privilege to be here, and lovely to see everyone today.
But with that said, we give you the floor.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you both for facilitating this for us. Okay, so I'm going to be introducing logosynthesis to you, and it's going to be a really brief glimpse into it, because as Alan said, it's really difficult to describe it in words. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. And I hope you can all see the screen and hear me okay. Wonderful. So whatever time of day it is, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, we're going to look at today what is logosynthesis. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the core principles. We're going to have a look at the benefits, and then we're going to do a group exercise together, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited to share this with you. So, what is logosynthesis? Logosynthesis is a comprehensive model for healing and development based on the power of words to restore the flow of life energy. This definition was developed by Dr. Willem Lammers and co-created within our logosynthesis community. And Dr. Willem, he used all his 40 years of experience as a psychotherapist, as a coach and consultant to develop this model for us. And for me, it's actually much more than a model. It's an approach, like Alan said, a new lens, a new way of understanding the world around us and ourselves. And for me, personally, it opens you up to more of who you truly are. So let's have a little look at the core principles of logosynthesis. Now, this is again just a really brief overview and a glimpse, and these are the foundations that logosynthesis is built upon. So in logosynthesis, everything is energy. So what do we mean by that? Energy is information. You as a human being, you're more than a physical body, you're more than your thoughts, more than your feelings. And as an energetic being, you interact with the world in that way. So we have dense energy, which will be the chair or the sofa you're sitting on, to consciousness and intuition. And we constantly receive and send out information. So in logosynthesis, everything is seen as energy. Energy is in flow or it's not. So the second principle says that if energy is in flow, you're going to know it because you'll probably be quite healthy, happy, fulfilled in your life. You'll have good relationships, you'll have balance and flow. And I think this is what we all aspire to, isn't it? If your energy is frozen, stuck or bound, if it's not in flow, then you'll probably find that you won't be fulfilled. You might have stress, anxiety, tension, and you may have symptoms, health issues, chronic health issues. And in logosynthesis, we see that if energy is stuck or frozen, we call that representations in logosynthesis. The third principle is energy is yours or is not yours. So as an energetic being, you will have a personal space, and sometimes we can take on energy from others, other things. We can learn things from people, we can take on beliefs and model things so from our experiences. And with logosynthesis, energy belongs in the right place or where it truly belongs. And I love these principles of logosynthesis because it's a very neutral approach. There's no good or bad, there's no positive or negative. Everything is energy, everything is information. And I love that approach with logosynthesis. The fourth foundational principle is that words move energy. Now, this has been known throughout history, throughout cultures all over the world, in groups and societies. You might wonder how. Well, you might know it as prayer, affirmations, mantras, and I think the blessings, vows. When we have intention with our words, they can be very powerful. So in a nutshell, just a brief overview, they're the core foundational principles of logosynthesis that everything is based on. And that's our approach towards logosynthesis. Now, in logosynthesis, we use specific words to actually move the energy. So these words are used to retrieve all the energy that's bound up in representations. It's used to remove all non-me energy, so energy that isn't yours, that's in your personal space. And it's used to retrieve all your energy that's bound up in all the reactions to these representations or this frozen energy. So that's how we use logosynthesis. And as most of us in our logosynthesis community feel, it's really difficult to describe the experience, but I hope that gives you a little glimpse of where it all starts from. Now, I had to share this with you, the benefits of logosynthesis, because in my work, in all the training I've done, I've found logosynthesis to be the most effective model. It actually brought all my training and learning together into one truly holistic approach. And it actually was very surprising and remarkable how quickly shifts are experienced with clients and personally for myself. So clients in sessions, I find that where it really comes into its own are if there have been adverse experiences or traumas, or if the client feels blocked or stuck. And I think logosynthesis helps you get underneath it to clear that block. So it really does help move things, move the energy. And it works on so many different levels. I work with chronic illness, physical and emotional stress and anxiety, and it works on all those levels of the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual levels. And I think that's why it works so quickly. It's a beautiful, natural, organic process. Often, I know when people are trying to change habits and patterns, they use a lot of willpower, they push themselves and make them do things. Well, with logosynthesis, with this approach, what I find is that those thoughts and emotions change automatically, and you don't need to use willpower to force or make things happen. And I think that's really beautiful as a process and in how it works. I absolutely love that, because let's all face it, if we've used willpower in our lives, and most of us probably have, it's exhausting, isn't it? And we do let it slip. So these are just some of the benefits that I've personally experienced and my clients experience. It's a very simple approach. We bring everything down to that frozen, stuck or bound energy, and that's what we find in logosynthesis. So it helps to keep the sessions really so focused when we're working with clients, if you're a coach, practitioner or therapist. And it also really helps me work personally with quite complex issues, complex clients with lots going on, and everything is just seen as energy and information, and we look to find where it's stuck. It's a very safe and gentle process. We can use it in so many ways, and I know in our community, and you'll see it today, we all have our own ways of using logosynthesis, but it's very gentle, especially when we're looking at adverse experiences and traumas. And I love working with metaphors with my clients, because I find that really gives a profound shift quite quickly. And we don't need to re-traumatize clients. We just need a gentle activation, and it works extremely well. It's so versatile, in how many ways you can use it in your daily life. I use it regularly for whenever I'm stressed, I feel pressure, nervous, as in today, or worried about anything. You can use it for anything and everything, from workmen causing you an irritation to stress in relationships, anything at all, in all areas of your life. And it's very empowering, because you can use it for yourself, and your clients can use it for themselves as well. And I think that's really an important part of healing and development, empowering others. It gives long-term and sustainable outcomes and results. When I had fibromyalgia, when I was struggling with that experience, I wanted long-term relief. I didn't want a short-term fix. And a lot of my clients actually want long-term relief from chronic symptoms too. And I found that logosynthesis really does give those long-term outcomes. For example, if we're dealing with the representation as a memory, which we'll be doing in just a moment, clients often say that they don't experience that memory in the same way. It might have faded, it might have gone into the distance and disappeared, it might have just got really blurred and dissipated. And so they never experience that frozen energy, that representation in the same way again. And I love that. I often say once it's done, although we still do need to work through some layers sometimes. So they're kind of the key aspects that I absolutely love about logosynthesis, and also that it continues to evolve. And what I mean is Dr. Willem Lammers keeps developing logosynthesis. We co-create in our community together, and as we evolve and consciousness evolves, logosynthesis continues to evolve. So there's always more to learn and different ways of looking at it, understanding it and using it in our lives. And I love that for not only my continued development, but for the process itself. There's a very intricate relationship with what's going on in the world around us as well. So I hope that's given you a really brief insight into logosynthesis and how it might work. The metaphor I use for myself is it's like shining light on a photographic film. Things just dissipate and fade. And that's my own personal metaphor for how I experience logosynthesis. So let's experiment. So I would love you all to, and I'm so glad you're here to have this experience of logosynthesis today. So whether you've experienced it before or not, let's just see it as an experiment. We're just going to play today, okay? And I know so many of us as coaches and therapists, we love learning, we love understanding, we love gaining knowledge. But today I'm going to ask you to let go of what you know and come into this with not needing to know anything. If you can let go of any expectations of what you might think this might be like or what it might not be like, if you can let those go and just simply be curious and allow yourself just to notice what's there, what comes, what's your experience. With logosynthesis, there's nothing you need to figure out, analyze or change. There's absolutely nothing you need to know, and that's often how I go in. Well, that's how I go in when I go into a session with a client. I don't know anything, and that leaves you open to seeing what's there. All you're going to do today is relax and, I think my presentation seems to be stuck there for some reason. But all you're going to do today is relax and observe and notice your own experience of what's happening in your body sensations, your thoughts and your feelings. Okay? Right, so it looks like my presentation has stuck, so that's fine because we're going straight into the experience.
Maybe you try the arrow on the presentation.
Let me just move my information bar somewhere else. Thank you, Monica. I'll try that one. It did work, thank you. I'm not sure why my computer stopped doing that. Okay, so as this is a group experience, it's a little bit different to when we're working one-to-one. So I'd like to bring us all together in this beautiful space today with just a short process to get present. So if you're comfortable, I'd like you to get comfortable and you're all muted. So in a moment when we go through the process, when we say the sentences, I'm going to guide you through the whole process. I'm going to ask you to say the sentences out loud. You're all muted, hopefully, so no one will hear you. And I'm going to walk you through. There's going to be a pause in between each sentence and I'll walk you through the rest of it. So let's start off. I hope you're comfortable. Please turn off any distractions, and if you aren't muted, just make sure you are. I want you to close your eyes if you're comfortable to do so, and if it's okay for you. And as you close your eyes, I want you to just focus on your breath, just for a moment. There's nothing you need to do with it. Just notice if it's shallow, deep, fast, slow, smooth, open, restricted. Just notice. And as you notice your breath, just give yourself permission to have this space and time for you. Let the outside world fade away for this time and come into this beautiful space together on January the 11th, 2022. And from this space, I'm going to ask you to think about a pleasant memory. It can be something recent, from the break or the holidays, or it can be something from a long time ago, from childhood maybe. And just allow this memory to come to you. Something that was comfortable, made you happy, felt pleasant, maybe joyful. And just give yourself a moment as you allow that memory to come. And as you start to notice that memory, how do you experience it? Can you see it? Do you hear it? Do you sense it? Is there taste and smell? Just observe what's there for you. And notice where it might be in your space. Is it close? Is it far? Is it clear? Is it vivid? And as you notice that memory, just observe what's happening in your body. Does it soften or relax? How do you feel? What thoughts come to you? You might find yourself smiling. And just notice that this is a memory. It's not happening right now, but it's impacting your body. You're having physical effects in your body, your thoughts and your feelings. Even though it's not happening right now. And just notice and observe what that memory feels like for you. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to find another memory, but this one won't be as pleasant. And we're going to use a distress scale of 0 to 10 this time. Now, if this is going to be your first experience of logosynthesis, a distress scale of 0 to 10 is 0, no distress, 10 is maximum distress. And if it's your first experience, please don't pick anything that's more than a 5 or a 6. Just pick something that was uncomfortable or unpleasant, nothing too overwhelming, because it's important to work with a practitioner for more overwhelming memories. So in this safe space, know that it's okay and it's safe to experience an unpleasant memory, something not so comfortable, not so pleasant. And just allow your mind to take you back through your experiences, through your history, and allow you to find a memory that was not so comfortable for you. It might have been a little bit distressing, not pleasant. It might be a recent memory or something from childhood. Just allow it to come to you. And it's safe to let it come in this space together. And I'll give you a few moments to allow that memory. And it's okay to allow it. And once you notice this memory, again observe your experience. Can you see it, hear it, sense it? Is there taste, smell? How do you experience this? Is it black and white? Is it colour? Is it clear and vivid? Close or far? And if you can pinpoint it in your space, where would it be? Is it to your left, to your right, behind, in front, above, below? Where do you notice this memory in your space? Is it big or small? Is it a static image or a video playing? And as you notice this, notice what's happening in your body. Notice the sensations, thoughts and feelings that you're now experiencing. Is there tension, pressure? How do you feel? And as you notice all of your experience, what's your distress level, 0 to 10, as you observe this memory? Just make a mental note. And notice what might be most distressing in this memory for you. We're now going to say the sentences for this memory. Saying with me now, out loud, I retrieve all my energy bound up in this memory and all it represents, and take it to the right place in myself. Relax and let the words do all the work for you. Allow and notice what's there. And saying with me now, as we move on to the next sentence, I remove all non-me energy connected to this memory and all it represents from all my cells, from all my body and all my personal space, and send it to where it truly belongs. Relax and let the words work. Just allow and notice your experience. And saying with me now, I retrieve all my energy bound up in, all my reactions to this memory and all it represents, and take it to the right place in myself, in the here and now, as an adult person. Relax and let the words sink in. Just give you a couple more moments. And now I'd ask you to notice that memory now. Again, excuse me. How do you experience this memory now? Is it in the same place? Is it as vivid and as clear, the same size? Does it feel the same? What happens for you? How does it now feel? What's happening in your body as you think of this memory now? Just observe and notice what's there. And as you notice your thoughts, feelings and body sensations now, what's your distress level, 0 to 10? And just notice if it's different from the beginning. If you'd like to now open your eyes and take some water, have a little drink. Okay. If that was your first experience of logosynthesis, I hope it was a pleasant one. If you'd like to share any comments about your experience or your distress levels in the chat, feel free to share. If you want to share your experience or what happened for you, what you noticed, feel free to share that. We haven't got time for questions in this presentation, but there will be time for questions later on in the day. But very happy to see what's happening with your distress levels there if you're ready to share those. Well, that was working with memories, one way to work with memories. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, this beautiful Logosynthesis day. I just want to say thank you to all the team who've put lots of work and time into this, and all the practitioners who are here today sharing Logosynthesis. I hope you find Logosynthesis as valuable and impactful in your life as I do in mine. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kuljit. It was actually a very interesting experience. And from what I gather in the chat, I'm not the only one who believes that. There's been a great shift for many. Danielle Dixra shares her stress level went from 8 to 2. And Harry Beverly says it wasn't my first experience, but it was very profound, reducing my stress levels to an old troublesome memory to 0. I still find it so difficult to understand.
I think that's quite common, isn't it? We don't know, we don't understand how or why. I love that surprised look when clients think, oh, what happened?
So great. Thank you very much, Kuljit.